Last time we have covered different modes of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiations. We have seen rate equation for each mode of heat transfer, Fourier's law for conduction, Newton law of cooling for convection, and Stephen-Boltzmann law for radiations. We have also described thermal resistances for conduction, conductive resistance for convection, convective resistance, and for radiation, radiative thermal resistance. We have described Fourier's law, and we have seen a property called thermal conductivity as a proportionality constant in Fourier's law. We will define this thermal conductivity, and we will discuss different factors which affect the value of thermal conductivity, because the value of thermal conductivity is very important in solution of different problems we face in our heat transfer applications. The thermal conductivity will be defined from Fourier's law. We have seen that rate of heat transfer Q is equal to minus K A delta T, that is temperature difference across the faces of the wall, divided by L, that is the thickness of the wall. For example, this is wall. Q is rate of heat transfer, K is thermal conductivity, A is the area perpendicular to the direction of flow of heat, T2 is the temperature at the cold face of the wall, T1 is the temperature of the hot face of the wall, and L is thickness of the wall. Then K is equal to Q divided by A into L divided by T2 minus T1. From this equation we will define thermal conductivity K as the amount of heat conducted to the wall of unit thickness if the temperature difference across the faces of the wall is maintained at a unit degree and area perpendicular to the direction of the heat flow is unity, then the quantity of heat flow through the wall will be equal to the thermal conductivity of the material. So the units of thermal conductivity will be derived from this equation. This meter and this meter square will give you units of watts per meter per degree C, or watts per meter per Kelvin. These are the units of thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity of materials varies, and this depends upon many factors. This depends on material structure, this depends on moisture content of the material, depends on density of the material, also this depends on temperature as well as pressure of the material. Thermal conductivity of the solids is because of the lattice vibration as well as because of the movement of the electrons, which is significant in case of metals. Before we go through the discussion of the variation of thermal conductivity because of the different factors, we should first understand which are the factors which impart a material its thermal conductivity. These are, for solids, these are the lattice vibration and these are the movement of the electrons. So first we discuss variation of thermal conductivity in solids. Purity of solids is very important for imparting a certain value of thermal conductivity to the solids. If we have two pure metals and we mix both metals, then the thermal conductivity of the mixture of the metals, that will be alloy, will be very low compared to individual metals. For example, if thermal conductivity of one metal is K1 and second metal is K2, then thermal conductivity of the resultant metal will not be between K1 and K2. Rather, resulting metal will have thermal conductivity K that will be very small from K1 as well as from K2. It means increasing impurity in the metals, the thermal conductivity of the metal is reduced. In the same way, thermal conductivity of non-metals is depending upon moisture content present inside the non-metals. If a non-metal is damped, and its thermal conductivity will be higher compared to the dry non-metal, because dry non-metal will contain air inside it. Therefore, thermal conductivity will be reduced due to the presence of air inside the non-metal. Thermal conductivity of damp metal will be more compared to the thermal conductivity of a dry metal. So in case of metals as well as non-metal, purity results in change in thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity of metals is also varied by change in thermal processing conditions of the metals or by mechanical processing the metals. Thermal conductivity of metals also decreases with the increase of temperature. Effect of temperature. The thermal conductivity of metal decreases when we increase the temperature of the metal. This is because in metals the thermal conductivity is mostly because of the movement of free electrons on the surface of the metals, because metals have free electron on their surface. Therefore, on increasing temperature, the resistance to the flow of electron is increased. That's why thermal conductivity of the metal is reduced. But this is not so for non-metals. In case of non-metals, increase in temperature results in increase in thermal conductivity. This is because in non-metals, major portion of the thermal conductivity is because of the lattice vibration of the molecules. As we increase the temperature, the vibration kinetic energy of the molecules is increased in the non-metals, and thermal conductivity is also increased due to increase in vibration and increase in kinetic energy transfer to the neighboring molecules. Therefore, behavior of the metals as well as non-metals against the change of temperature for thermal conductivity is different. Thermal conductivity of metals reduces on increase of temperature, but this thermal conductivity increases on reduction of temperature. Therefore, some metals behave as a superconductor at near absolute zero temperature. For example, copper has a thermal conductivity of 401 watt per meter per Kelvin at room temperature. When we decrease the temperature of the copper down to 20 degree Kelvin, then thermal conductivity will increase up to 20,000 watts per meter per Kelvin. This is almost 50 times the thermal conductivity at the room temperature. Therefore, thermal conductivity of the metals increases on reduction of temperature, and metal may behave as a superconductor at very low temperature. Thermal conductivity at any temperature for solids can be given by K is equal to K naught 1 plus beta T. K naught is the thermal conductivity of the solids at reference temperature, that is normally room temperature, and K is the thermal conductivity of the metals at temperature T. Beta is the coefficient of thermal conductivity. Beta is positive for non-metals and negative for metals. It means for non-metals thermal conductivity increases with the increase of temperature, and for metals thermal conductivity decreases with the increase of temperature. This equation shows that the variation of thermal conductivity with the temperature is linear. Thermal conductivity of solids is normally more than thermal conductivity of liquids and gases. This is because solids has higher density compared to liquids and gases. Therefore, kinetic energy transfer to the neighboring molecules is higher because the density of the molecules is high. Thermal conductivity of the liquids normally decreases with the increase of temperature, except water. This is because as the temperature is increased, the density of the liquid is reduced. Because of the reduction in density, the transfer of kinetic energy to the neighboring molecules is reduced. Therefore, thermal conductivity of the liquids is reduced on increase of temperature. So, thermal conductivity goes down as temperature goes up for liquids, and for gases thermal conductivity of gases increases with the increase of temperature. This is because as we increase the temperature, the kinetic energy transfer to the neighboring molecules is increased. Variation of thermal conductivity of the gases with respect to different factors can be explained by a relation which is K is equal to K is proportional to C and lambda, where C is the speed at which molecules of gas collide with each other. Lambda is mean free path between the molecules of the gas. As the temperature is increased, the speed at which molecules collide, that is increased. Therefore, thermal conductivity of the molecules is increased. Also, this can be explained by kinetic molecular theory of gases that states that with the increase of temperature, the energy of the molecules is increased, and the energy that is transferred to the neighboring molecules on cooling, and that is also increased. That's why thermal conductivity of the gases is increased on the increase of temperature. On the other hand, with the reduction of temperature, the kinetic energy is reduced. That's why thermal conductivity is reduced. Also, because of the reduction of temperature, the speed c at which molecules collide, that is decreased. That's why thermal conductivity of the gas is decreased with the decrease of temperature. As the temperature is increased, thermal conductivity of the gases is increased. Then is the effect of molecular weight of the gas on thermal conductivity. As the molecular weight of the gas is increased, the density of the molecules is increased. With the increase of density of the molecules of the gas, the mean free path between the molecules is reduced. That's why thermal conductivity of the gas is reduced for increase in molecular weight. This is the reason thermal conductivity of helium is much more higher as compared to the thermal conductivity of air. Helium has a molecular weight 4 and air has a molecular weight 29. Helium has molecular weight equal to 4. That's why the space between the molecules of the helium is very large compared to the space between the molecules of air. Because of the higher intermolecular distances in gas of helium as compared to air, the thermal conductivity of helium is high as compared to air. because of this value of lambda, which is the intermolecular space or mean free path between the molecules. Normally there is no effect of pressure on thermal conductivity of the gases, because when we increase the pressure, the intermolecular spaces are reduced. Therefore mean free path lambda is reduced. But because of the reduction of the mean free path on increase of pressure, the speed at which molecules collide, that is increased. Therefore the reduction of the thermal conductivity due to reduction of lambda is compensated by the increase of thermal conductivity due to increase of C. Therefore on net there will be no effect. These were the most important factors affecting thermal conductivity of solids, liquids and gases. Next, another term called thermal diffusivity, which is important to discuss here. Whenever heat is transferred to a solids or to any object, some part of the heat is stored inside the object and some part is conducted through the object. The ability of a material to conduct heat through it as compared to its ability to store the heat is defined by the value of thermal diffusivity, which is the ratio between the heat transfer by conduction to the heat stored by the body. Therefore diffusivity alpha is heat conducted divided by heat stored. Heat conducted by the body is normally defined by its thermal conductivity. Therefore nominator will has a thermal conductivity K. The heat stored is defined by specific heat Cp, which is the thermal capacity of a body, and this is measured in kilojoule per kg per degree C, which is the heat stored by 1 kg of a mass when increase in temperature of the mass is 1 degree C. But heat stored by 1 cubic meter of a mass or heat stored by a unit volume of a mass is Cp into rho, where rho is the density. The unit of heat stored will be kilojoule per kg per degree C into kg per cubic meter, that is kilojoule per cubic meter per degree C. This is also heat stored, but this is heat stored per unit volume per degree C rise in temperature, and this is Cp, which is heat stored per unit mass per unit rise in temperature. For thermal diffusivity we use heat stored per unit volume per degree C, that is rho Cp. If a material has higher thermal conductivity as compared to thermal capacity, then it will have a higher diffusivity. A material with high ability to store energy as compared to its ability to pass energy through it will have lower thermal diffusivity. For example, water has more heat capacity as compared to iron, therefore it will have less thermal diffusivity as compared to the iron. Thermal conductivity of a material can be measured experimentally by an experimental setup which can be shown here. If we want to measure thermal conductivity of a material, then we will take sample of the material and we will insulate all three sides by a perfect insulator. This is insulation and this is the sample. We place a heater here, an electric heater of known resistance and known work input. This power input, which is for example in watt, is also equal to rate of heat being transferred from this heater through this material to the outer face. We have a setup to measure the temperature at this face, or to measure the temperature of the heater T1, and we also have a setup to measure the temperature of this face T2. We connect thermocouples to measure the temperatures or any other suitable thermal temperature measuring device, and we know the thickness of the sample is L. Then thermal conductivity will be calculated using Fourier's law, Ka T1 minus T2. Here I will not show negative sign because I am writing T1 minus T2. T1 is higher, T2 is less. That's why I have removed negative sign divided by L, which is the thickness of the sample. Thermal conductivity K will be equal to QL divided by A T1 minus T2. When steady state is reached, means when T1 and T2 are steady constant, means both faces of the sample are at constant temperature and both faces are isothermal, then we will calculate the thermal conductivity using T1 and T2. A is the area of the sample perpendicular to the direction of heat flow. L is the thickness of the sample. Q will be the heat input to the electric heater. Q can be calculated using power input of the heater or using resistors of the electric heater. In power is equal to electric power is equal to I into V. V is equal to IR, so power is equal to I square into R. I is the current flowing through the electric heater, R is the resistance of the heater. In this way, power or heat flow per unit time can be calculated and plugged in the equation to get thermal conductivity of the material. Next is the relation between thermal conductivity and electrical conductivity, which was given by the Lorentz number. Here I consider this to be significant to describe because thermal conductivity and electrical conductivity are analogous to each other. Lorentz number is the ratio between thermal conductivity and electrical conductivity and is given by L is equal to K over K electrical conductivity into absolute temperature T. It means for metals the ratio of thermal conductivity to the electrical conductivity is constant and this increases with the increase of temperature.